Hey guys, this is Dr. Samir Islam. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. So tonight we're going to continue our series on intermittent fasting. And so today I want to speak about some of the problems with intermittent fasting. You know, it's not for everybody and some people may not benefit from this. I know I've been talking about this for the past couple of videos, but I want to explain tonight why some people may not benefit from this or what may be some of the issues with intermittent fasting, just so that we're kind of understand the whole picture from this. So when we talk about our series, you know, the past couple of weeks, I talked about what is intermittent fasting, how does it work, and why I personally have been doing intermittent fasting for quite some time. And tonight we'll talk about some of the problems with intermittent fasting. So as a background, keep in mind that intermittent fasting is making a conscious decision to skip certain meals on purpose. The reason we do this is to actually minimize calories and to have a decreased number of calories per day, and so that you don't eat as much as you did before. And so you eat during a certain time, then you fast for the rest of the time, whether it's a 16-hour fast, an 8-hour meal, or an 18-hour fast, 6-hour meal, or a 24-hour fast for some people as well. Now, to be frank with you, when people do intermittent fasting, I have found with my own experience that very few people have really big problems. They really don't. Your body adapts very, very quickly to avoiding the meals. Your body gets used to a certain way of doing things. And it can adapt pretty quickly and effectively, so that if you do decide to do intermittent fasting, even as early as tomorrow, your body will adapt pretty quickly to the point where it will not feel some of the hunger pains and some of the issues that you have. And I've noticed this in my own personal life. There are periods when I don't do intermittent fasting, and then whenever I get back into it, my body gets acclimated very easily and very quickly to what it was before. And so your body's an amazing thing, and it can get used to doing things which it normally doesn't do. Intermittent fasting is one of those things which it can do. Now I will tell you, the initial shock to the system can be a little bit hard. You know, that first day or two can be a little bit tough because you're not eating the food that you normally do, or maybe not having breakfast. But your body will very quickly adapt to that. Now a big question people ask me is, so if I do this, why do I feel so grouchy and lethargic if I skip breakfast? And the main reason is because your body's used to that. So your body's been used to a certain way of doing things for a long time, and maybe whenever you wake up, the first thing you do is you have a very high sugary carb breakfast, and so your body craves that. It produces hormones that may get you more likely to feel hunger towards that, and you may have this adaptation that your body has. And it's just basically your body is just reacting to what you eat, or what you're doing. If you eat every 3 hours, your body gets used to eating every 3 hours. And if your body gets used to having breakfast, especially a high carb breakfast, that's what it wants, and it gets used to that. But that feeling does go away, and it does not seem to last if you implement intermittent fasting. In fact, hormones that help regulate hunger are actually very low whenever you first get up, and so that feeling of being hungry, at least initially, will go away after you do a couple of days of intermittent fasting. Now, one thing I have to tell people is that it's not a cure-all. You know, there are a lot of people who may not benefit. And I will tell you that if you do intermittent fasting, but you have over 10,000 of calories throughout the day, you're not helping your health out in any certain way. And certainly if you do intermittent fasting and your calorie intake is more than what you're expending, you're not going to lose weight. It's a simple math. You know, what you put in has to be less than what you put out. And so if you skip breakfast but have a huge lunch and have a huge dinner, and you're exceeding the number of calories that you normally do, you're not going to lose the weight that you want to lose. You're actually increasing calories despite the fact that you're skipping breakfast. The whole goal of intermittent fasting is to intentionally skip meals so that you decrease the amount of calories that you have. If you skip those meals but still have a huge breakfast and a huge dinner, you're basically losing the benefit from that. And so if you're noticing that you're not maintaining weight loss or losing weight despite doing intermittent fasting, I would really encourage you to track your calories. Track how many calories you're taking per day. Track how many macros you could be doing, whether it's protein, carbs, and fat, and seeing if you're actually exceeding the amount that you should be doing. If you're trying to do intermittent fasting, you want to try and eliminate at least a good amount of calories by doing that. And if you don't do that by having large meals, you're not going to help yourself out. Also, intermittent fasting may be difficult for people who have blood sugar issues. You know, if your body is used to having such a high blood glucose level in the system, it may come as a pretty significant shock to your body to skip those meals and to not have that sugar intake that you're normally having. So those people who have diabetes or may have brittle sugar levels may need to speak to your healthcare provider about whether you need to implement this program or not. And if you do decide, I would do it small. Maybe do the fasting period for a lesser length of time than what you would normally do. Maybe don't do a 16 or 18-hour fast. Maybe do an 8-hour fast instead and seeing how you do. But by gradually increasing the amount that you're fasting, you should decrease the calories and should, in the long run, actually help out with diabetes and should hopefully help you out to control your blood sugar as well. But by and large, intermittent fasting is fantastic, and I have had, in my own personal experience, very little downside with it. And for my patients who do it correctly, they've had very little downside as well. They feel better, their GI symptoms seem to go away, no more heartburn or reflux or IBS symptoms, and they're able to lose the weight that they want to lose and maximize burning of your calories as well. Now keep in mind, if you do decide to do intermittent fasting, don't exceed a tremendous amount of calories for your lunch and your dinner. It doesn't help you out in any way, shape, or form. The whole goal is try to minimize calories so you don't eat as much as you normally do, and hopefully either lose weight or lose body fat as well. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And for our next video, we will talk about some of the most common questions about intermittent fasting. What can you do to help suppress your appetite? Can you have caffeine? What can you add to your coffee? What exactly can you eat or can't you eat? Things like that. And so I'd encourage you to join me. I will not be here next Tuesday, so it'll be a week from next Tuesday. And at that point in time, we'll finish our series on intermittent fasting. I would encourage you to join me every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. where I do a Facebook Live. And not next week, but the following week, we'll be doing our last Facebook Live on intermittent fasting. If you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. Please post them down below. I can maybe incorporate these questions into my videos. And if you'd like to make an appointment to talk to me about your health or your GI health, feel free to contact my office. We can get you in and hopefully take care of you. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Hope you guys have a good night and have a great rest of the week. Take care.